grade school together, from kindergarten on through high school and through college. And been married, I think, almost 45 years. And have, I think we have like 2 grandchildren. Actually 3 now. We had one for 6 weeks. I'm really happy about that. I'm a friend of Travis Gatson. I've known Travis Gatson for about 30 years. He's our chief of police. He'll introduce himself. And he is the first person of color ever to be a police chief in a head police chief in Gwinnett County. And Gwinnett's been here 240 years. I was the first person to appoint a person of color. Not because of their color, because they're highly qualified. And I can go on and on, but I'm really happy to be here. And I really want us to work together to stop the hate that other people have that we don't have. And so I'm here to help your community, help ours. And I think the way you stop hate is to become empowered, be the head person, and then you can call the shots. That way you can force people out of hate. Thank you.
계속 진행하시겠습니다. 예.
My name is Jinde. Korean American and veteran and Korean American veterans military Christian fellowship. Is it?
예. 네. 한국말로 하셔도 됩니다. 나중에 한꺼번에 제가 통역해 드릴게요. 예. Okay, it's your turn.
Well, first of all, I'm doing a customer clarification. Is he the last person to come in?
Yeah.
Oh, right. All right, I'm not the last one. Thank you. I want to thank you. I didn't put him out there.
It was him before you.
Okay.
He was the last.
Okay.
My name is Travis Gatson. I'm the chief investigator for the Gwinnett County Solicitor's Office. I've been in law enforcement for almost 30 years. I retired as a captain with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department. Was also in the Marine Corps before that. So I spent a lot of time with protecting people. That's been pretty much my adult life, is protecting people. I also was a senior pastor of a church in Cleveland, Georgia for 7 years. So that was giving me the servant heart. So that's been pretty much my adult lifehood, is the servant heart, protecting people. My wife now is the new district attorney of Gwinnett County. So she sends her greetings. But we're here now with Brian. So me and Brian has been together. By the way, Brian and Patsy, the district attorney, has such close ties because he was the one that introduced us. So I'm forever grateful to Brian because he introduced us.
I don't know if she's grateful, but
Yeah, I don't know if she's grateful, but I'm grateful and everything. And then before she became district attorney, she worked in the solicitor's office for Brian. So there's a good tie between the solicitor's office, which everybody's clear what the solicitor's office does.
Sort of.
Sort of.
You could explain it.
Okay, it's a simple way to do it. Simple way to do it. Everybody knows what a district attorney does, right? For the most part, everybody does. Well, you can say the same thing about the solicitor, but instead of the district attorney prosecuting the felony cases, the solicitor prosecutes the misdemeanor cases. So simple battery, different things like that, theft by shoplifting less than $500, there is what's called misdemeanor vehicle homicide, which means if someone just was an accident, but it caused somebody's death, they weren't DUI or nothing. That would be in our office. All traffic violations and all those type of things, from DUI on up. Am I missing any? Family violence,
battery, simple
battery, yeah, those type of things. All are misdemeanor charges that go into the solicitor's office. So that's really the difference. So the district attorney and the solicitor general work hand in hand for the protection of the county.
I think one key point is that what we do is sort of unconventional too. By being an attorney, and I think one thing Travis did say, we were actually deputies together. I was a deputy for 7 years in Gwinnett County, and I went to law school while I was doing that. And I was a police officer for about 5 years, I think, in Gary, Indiana. And like I said before, some individuals here, my dad was in the Strategic Air Command, and like I said, he was in the Korean War. And one thing real unconventional from the fact that being a lawyer, as a lawyer for 24 years, I know the law. And so what I do is use the law to deter crime. And we came out almost a year ago when the Asian community was threatened. We were the first prosecutors in America to put out a newsletter and said that if anyone is attacked or threatened or assaulted in Gwinnett County, we would prosecute them. We don't arrest people, but we can make a recommendation. I said for a year, like Travis said, the highest we can get somebody is 12 months. But I think when you tell people in this county that the old guard is gone, those people who turned their head when someone was attacked or insulted in their restaurants, and people made a complaint, they didn't investigate that. We're going to investigate that, and then we're going to move forward if there's evidence and prosecute these people, because that sends a measure. So that's what we do. And Travis, he does a great job. He investigates these. We use statistics against people to prove what our case is. So that's what we do. It's sort of cut and dry when you say we do simple batteries and things, and we do assaults. That ties in if somebody comes to a restaurant or a place of business and they insult you or say something verbally. What we're going to do is investigate that fairly and prosecute them. And I think what happens hand in hand, if something occurs, I can say, District Attorney Patsy Austin Gatson, I think this is a felony. See, the point about that is there's communication. I've known Travis, I've known Patsy. I did an internship with her when I was a police officer. Before we had Danny Porter, white people didn't want to talk to us. They really tried to eliminate us because what they don't like to see is you actually achieve a goal of parity instead of trying to work side by side. But now we can work and say, look, this needs to be a felony. I can refer that to Patsy, especially with the new laws. They have new laws that particularly say if you pinpoint someone because of their race, color, or creed, and it's even gender. If someone, insulted Kathy because of her gender, you so-and-so woman, or you so-and-so woman, we can actually move forward now and prosecute them because people don't understand that's a gender. And these things need to be done. People say, well, that's not fair. But the whole point, people haven't been fair in the past. And I try to tell people you have to be unconventional, you have to be highly intelligent. Not saying I am, but I am. But the whole point about that is,
You are.
When you look at the law, if people would have stood up like we stand up for everybody, then black people wouldn't have been told, you're sitting in the front, get back. What prosecutor would prosecute that? Somehow they were able to put people in court. Can you imagine today, somebody would have to come in and say, okay, you can't sit in this bus. Go to court, black person in bus, $500 fine. That's not a law. And another point we'll make is the fact is that that's why we protect what Kathy said. She's a very caring person. Travis is a caring. My mom and dad are caring. But my father was in Air Sea Rescue. So that shows he was a caring person. So we were taught, we came through schools, you're from Gary again. We had a lot of diversity. But what occurred was, when we lived in Gary, people started to move away. A guy, he might be working in a steel mill or he might be digging a ditch. But you had an education and you were black, they didn't want to live next to you. So my whole point about that is if you don't want to live in this county, then you have a right to move. Because we're qualified to be here. We've earned that. Everybody in here has earned that. So you have to look at the fact is that we're not here to please people except our families and ourselves and achieve our goals. We're not scared of anyone. And the reason we stand up is because people tried to put us down. We were taught to protect people. So I think, not to be prolong this, but that's why we're here today.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
I am a retired Reverend. When I was joined the Air Force, I worked Air Force, air route traffic controls about more than 3 years. After I changed to the Army, and I become Army pilot. And then I been in Vietnam 1966 at Cam Ranh U.S. Air Force Base. At 1 year after come to Korea, I become a pilot trainer. And after 3 years, I finished everything. And then I joined the big training company. And then someday God said, do you love me? I love you. I saved you Vietnam War. I never heard ever you are here. You come and you become minister. So I changed.
Amen.
So I become minister. And then I attended the biggest church. Do you know the area Full Gospel Church, Yonggi-jo? At that church, I was in that church. And then I become assistant minister. After 3 years, I become ordained. After become minister, pastor. And then I started first church at Jeju Island. But someday, after Yonggi-jo, he come to me, and we go to United States. Someone asked me, so I came. San Antonio, Texas. And then Pastor R.Y. Clark, United States minister, U.S. church, big church minister, he called me. He want to become the church ministers. A church there is many Korean married with U.S. Army. Almost more than 50 women, they are married with Korean soldier. They attended our church. So we, our church members, American and married with American. So there almost 20 years after I retired, came here about 5 years ago. It is a wonderful place. So I like this church. So I met many wonderful ministers and many good people. I am very happy here. So also I have a very happy with the wonderful minister and everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My name is James. I live in Lilburn, which is Gwinnett County. We're very active in Lilburn. We work with the police department. My wife and I are co-president of the Neighborhood Watch. We love people. We live in Sterling Trace Subdivision, which is international. We have just about every race there. We have an international day once a year. So everybody comes together and cook their food from the different countries. I'm here representing my wife. She's a Korean African American, and she worked with Brian. They've been working to get a Korean paper ballot for people who come to vote. So I'm here representing her since she's in California. But we love people. We work with people. I work for the state of Georgia. That's it.
Do you speak the language at all?
Very little, yes. I can say hello, annyeonghaseyo. I learned to say I love you first. Now it's a little thing.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Robert Kwan. Lived in Atlanta area since 1993. My resume is really long, you don't want to hear it. I've been with the community for some time. This Brian Kim, I got to know him a couple of years ago, and obviously with the incident happened back in March, you know, the hate crime and et cetera, et cetera. You don't hear much of an Asian hate crime. This is, I think maybe first time or very rarely you hear such. Lately, and I'll be 59 this year, and I had white friends, black friends, Hispanic friends, South Pacific friends, yeah, you name it. But I never really thought of minority.
Yeah.
I grew up, I've been here since I was 8th grade here, and I grew up in Maryland. And I see a lot of crazy things happening, you know, things that you don't want to hear. I mean, over the weekend, you got some kid killed 9 kids in Colorado. It's sad. And although I've been in the United States for over 46 years, I haven't really got into politics. You know, some say I should be in city councilman or beyond. I feel a little ashamed that I never really got into that, you know. And I've seen Gwinnett County grow last 27, 28 years. I knew Butch. I know some of the high-ranking people. I know some of the high-ranking people that no longer around. And I see some changes. And with this happening in March, you know, I like to get involved, and I work with the attorney. I work in a law firm right now, and I hear a lot of the good things and bad things that people ask me, is this hate crime, or, you know, this and that. So, and also lately, I'm learning a lot of Black history. I got a little interested in Black history, and you know, people say you're a minority. I said, no, I'm not a minority. You know, I study in America. Why you call me I'm a minority? Whether I like it or not, I'm an Asian. It is what it is. So, you know, Brian, I think I met you a couple of times on different occasions. Maybe once, you know, twice, and I think with you, James, first time. So I appreciate you guys being here, not only for the Korean and Asian community, all community. Not that I got to know somebody at the solicitor's office. There are some cases that need to be addressed. Some police officer, I have a couple cases. Some officers, Gwinnett County police officers, don't think of anything when this should be some detective or somebody needs to really look at these issues. But where do you go? Where do you make a case out of it? Where do you go to really, you know, ask questions, you know, things like that. So I appreciate you guys here, and hopefully we could mangle together. If we could help within the community, I'm here for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
소개해야 돼요?
네, 한국말 어떻게 했습니다.
I'm sorry, I'm just a typical Korean person, so I'm not, fluently in English like Mr. Kim. I'm
You doing well.
Yeah, just to your convenience, understands what I think, So I'm just transfer. I ask Mr. Kim, transfer. 예, 저는 그냥 조그만한 비즈니스 오너입니다. 그리고 저는 이번에 마사지 스토어에 샵에 일어난 일이 일어나고 난 다음에 상당히 놀랐고 또 어떻게 이런 일이 일어났는지 또 그리고 이것은 거기에는 많은 우리가 생각해야 될 부분들이 있는데 그 중에 하나가 성 문제, 여성에 대한 문제, 그 다음에 아시안에 대한 혐오 문제, 그 다음에 총기 문제, 이 세 가지가 우선 떠올랐습니다. 그래서 이런 문제를 생각하고 있는데 아시안들이 너무 갑자기 많이 두드려 맞고 죽고 이런 문제가 발생을 했습니다. 그래서 제가 우리 굉장히 보고 싶었던 우리 블랙 커뮤니티의 리더들을 되게 보고 싶었어요. 왜냐하면 여러분들은 400년 동안 투쟁을 해왔기 때문에 우리 한인들은 이제 겨우 200년도 안 되는 역사를 미국에서 이렇게 살아가고 있기 때문에 정말 많은 걸 배우고 싶고 우리가 어떻게 이 길을 찾아야 될지 묻고 싶었습니다. 그래서 제가 여기 찾아왔습니다. 네, 제 이름은 남요셉입니다.
예, 제 이름은 윤정호입니다. 저는 한국계 미국 시민으로 지금 살고 있습니다. 동남부에 장교, 예비역 장교,退役 장교 회의 회장도 역임했었고요. 그리고 이번에 인종 혐오 또는 이런 문제에 같이 토론하기 위해서 모인 자리에 참석하는 것을 영광으로 생각합니다. 어떻게 하면은 그 어려운 문제를 풀 수 있을까, 해결점이 있을까 하는 문제점을 우리가 찾다 보면은 무언가 있을 거로 생각합니다. 굉장히 어려운 문제지만은 같이 토론하는 기회를 만들어서 고맙게 생각합니다.
아니 먼저.
여기 먼저 저는 그 목사입니다. 조지에 온 지는 한 5년 됐고요. 나보다도 이제 그 와이프가 이제 레지스트 너스고, 이제 소령으로 제대를 하고 올라갔다 오고, 이 양반이 더 유명해요. 나는 그냥 조용히 있는 거예요. 그런데 오늘 뭐 이렇게 브라이언 팀이 이렇게 커뮤니티에 모여서 이렇게 토론을 하고 좀 모시를 해보자 이렇게 해서 모이라고 그래서 이제 우리 와이프가 이제 여기 조인하고 열심히 하니까 저는 그냥 따라와서 지금 참석을 하고 있는데, 이런 문제는 황실인이 백인이니 뭐 흑인이니 이런 걸 갖고는 도저히 해결이 될 것 같지 않고, 전부 다 이제 예술을 믿으면 이제 그런 사건들이 안 날 건데, 거기에서 하나 되는 주가 제일 좋겠다 싶은 생각이 들고요. 그래서 흑인 커뮤니티의 그 목사님들을 좀 만나서 나도 듣고 내 의견도 좀 표현하고 그러고 싶어서 왔습니다. 저는 그 이름은 데니엘 전입니다. 감사합니다.
I'm so honored to be here. I just, Brian came asked me to come over here to discuss about happy life. I'm retired registered nurse in California.
Okay.
And then I've been nursing 41 years over the way. And then I retired 2020. And then I was in the California, but I came over here 2020 since I live in California. I hope we like to be quality life.
Yes.
And then we're so proud of life in America. I hope I'm a peacemaker. Anything under the God, we all love each other.
Yes.
And then from now on, we like to share whatever different culture, but we need it a little bit weak side. We need to protect from you. And then I hope not anymore that happen.
Yes.
There's some attacking,
Yes.
strong or weak, but we can relationship with each other, how to make a peaceful life, happy life. That's I wish to. That's why I come here tonight. My name is Julia Okjaan. Thank you.